most trade schools and just business owners in general are missing out on one of the greatest platforms there ever was. Let's say, for example, okay, you're a small business or again, you own a trade school and you want more attention so people know that you exist. Even better, what if you can make content around something, right? A platform that millions of people could possibly see, and it will generate leads for your business. I'm assuming you'd be interested in a platform like this. Or how about this platform, for example, gets more views on televisions than any streaming service combined, all of them, especially in the age range of 18 to 49. And it beat out Netflix last year on most watch hours spent on television. Yes, folks, if you've already guessed, I'm talking about YouTube. Despite the fact that this platform is single-handedly the greatest tool that any business can absolutely have, very few people are actually making content on it, especially trade schools. The few that do are just doing Google ads, which is fine, but there's another way. So today I'm gonna be talking about what can you do on YouTube as a trade school to continually get your brand out there and get leads generated for your business. If you're new to the channel, I'm Raylan Davis. This is the Trade School Growth Guide. If you haven't been around before, you're gonna wanna hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We do trainings every single week. On top of that, I bring on industry experts like campus presidents, admissions leaders to teach you how to grow your campus. With that being said, once again, hit the like button, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and let's jump into the video. Okay, so why YouTube? Everyone's doing things like TikTok and Instagram, yeah, that's fine. But what I like most about YouTube is, number one, it is the second largest search engine next to Google, who, by the way, owns YouTube. The coolest part, to me anyway, is if you search up your school or you search up your business, if you're making content on YouTube, those videos come up on the Google search. What's great about this is most people, like myself, when I go and Google a business or I Google an individual, I tend to lean towards more video stuff so that way I can actually see what they're like. And then you can imagine if a prospective student wants to check out your school, they don't want to just read something online, look at your website and go, oh, okay, they say they're amazing and so does everybody else. They want to see what it actually feels like on the campus. They want to see the people that are at the campus talking about it, students, whatever. And so YouTube, for that reason, is amazing. The other part of this YouTube journey that I love most is that it's middle of the funnel, not top of the funnel. So if you watched my training a few weeks ago, we did one on Instagram, that's a lot of top of the funnel activity, meaning that people are just kind of browsing. Maybe they're not even that interested in going to school yet, they just kind of see your stuff over there, and that's great, and I think top of the funnel activities are important. However, middle of the funnel means since they are searching for that thing and YouTube is serving up your content, they're already in decision-making mode. They at least have some interest in becoming a massage therapist or an HVAC or a welder, whatever. They're already searching for those topics. You might as well pop up before your competitors. And so this is middle of the funnel activity, which means we should be generating actually more leads than if we did on Instagram and other places. Now, there are a million different types of content we could do over on YouTube. I'm gonna go over just two things that I would do literally today that you can easily execute and still generate leads for your trade school. And on top of that, get in a really good cadence and rhythm so that way you can continue to do it. I will tell you this, as a disclaimer to everything I'm gonna say, all of this will not work if you start it and then you quit after a week. The thing that I hear a lot from trade schools is, yeah, but I don't know if we can really keep it up, and I don't know if it's really simple. If we mark it on your calendar and you do what I tell you to do here in the next few minutes here, you're going to be able to know how to generate a bunch of content just from about an hour and a half a week. An hour and a half a week is all it takes to be able to kind of dominate the YouTube space as a trade school. And I'm telling you right now, there is not a single trade school that's doing this right. So if you jump on this first, you will be the first. And I promise you, you'll thank me for it. There are endless possibilities of ways we can leverage this content we're gonna make. So make sure you pay attention. All right, so number one is all I want you to do is, when my friend Evan Carmichael calls, create a biz dev show. In other words, we're just gonna make a podcast. Okay, so why a podcast? Because a podcast is nice because, again, in our calendars, we're just gonna say we're going to record on Tuesdays every single week at this time. But Raylan, what do I need? I need all this equipment. I'm telling you right now, you don't need that much. Here's what I would recommend. You're gonna pick up a software called Riverside.fm. So Riverside.fm, if you're recording people outside of the campus, is great for this. The quality is amazing. It's really easy to use. Riverside.fm is great. Make sure you use that. If you do it in person, I'm telling you, your total budget, if you're a trade school, you're spending like $1,000 to get a pretty banging podcast studio set up. You just need a room, you need a camera. I recommend the DJI Pocket 3. This is what I'm using right now. It's really small, easy to use, it's pretty great. And 2 mics. Again, it comes with mics, so there you go. You strap people on with these little lavalier, how do you say that? Lavalier, whatever. These mics, okay, you put some mics on some people and you got a podcast show. It's pretty simple, okay? Once you do the show, who do you have on? I'm so glad you asked. Okay, so there's 3 types of people you're gonna bring on the show, all right? Each one has a purpose, and the purpose is not just to get views, it's to generate leads and build relationships. Your podcast is gonna be one of the single most important tools at your campus, and it's going to almost, I'm not gonna say, I was gonna say, it's gonna make your admissions people obsolete, but it absolutely won't. You still need them, but it's gonna definitely do a lot of the front load work for them and makes it a lot easier. Okay, so here are the 3 types of guests you wanna come on your show. Number 1 are gonna be possible referral partners. All right, who would be a referral partner? So I think a lot about career services being a huge arm for this. So in career services, we have people in our community that are hiring our students. Those people we want to bring on for 2 reasons. 1, because the employer can say things that you can't. They're going to say, your students are amazing. It's because whenever I hire them, and I hire them right, some of them I hire before they even graduate, that they can say things that we can't because of Department of Education, but they can say it all day long because they're the employer, right? The other part is the reason why they're a referral partner is because the fact that they want more people to work for them. There's a really good possibility that when people say, hey, I want to work for you, in the interview process, they could say, hey, you're not really qualified yet, but there's a school that I think you should go to that's going to train you right, and when you're done, you have a job. That is a referral partner. They're going to generate referrals for you, and you don't have to do anything. All you got to do is shed a spotlight on their employer. The other cool thing about the referral partner using employers for this is that they are going to actually get more reach, meaning more eyes are gonna be see it because they probably have more eyes on them. They're constantly gonna be creating ads, things like that, which are gonna bring more attention to them, which ipso facto will go to YouTube, right? So this is actually a pretty good play to get more views. They have more people to send it out to, the email list, so on and so forth. Okay, so the second type of guests I want you to bring on your show are going to be graduates, okay? Students that have graduated, are happily employed, and they're crushing it in their lives and their businesses. I want you to bring them on the show, and you're just simply gonna talk to them about their experience at the school. Talk about the story, okay? So what led you to even apply here? What was going to school like? What were some of the study tips that you employed? All of this is going to inspire other students, right? So this is now, we're getting out of the lead generation, but even better, we're going to retention. Because something you could do with this piece of content is send it in your email list to your current student body. Hey, if you've ever struggled with studying, so Joe Smith has a really great studying tip that has led him to be able to not only graduate from this school, but also start his own welding business or what have you, okay? We're gonna leverage that piece of content again and again and again in our own email list. So the second piece of content we're gonna wanna create is gonna be student graduates. This also acts as a testimonial that isn't forced. A lot of the YouTube content I see out there today from trade schools is them forcing a student to sit down and talk about how great they love the school, and it comes off just not very authentic. What we wanna do is sit a student down, a graduate, and just talk about how great they are, how amazing they're doing in their career. Let them just do all the talking, and naturally, you getting a testimonial will happen. Okay, and the third type of content we wanna do is industry-specific type of content. Okay, so this is what I mean by that. We're gonna bring on teachers, can be graduates, it can be employers, but I want them to teach something in this podcast segment, okay? So for example, let's say you have a really amazing instructor on staff who every single student loves, and I want them to teach a concept to you during this podcast. So what does this do? It allows prospective students to see and feel what it feels like to learn from you. That's what they're gonna be doing when they actually go to school there, right? You can leverage this because, again, in your emails to prospects, you can do this for even current students. You can do this to graduates who maybe forgot some concepts. Like, this is gonna be key because these students are gonna be searching for it. On YouTube, remember, it's the second largest search engine that there is. If prospective students are already searching, hey, how do I weld this together? Or how do I fix X, Y, and Z? And your instructor is sitting next to you talking about how to do that, naturally in the search engine, they're gonna pop up. And then they're gonna be curious about going to your school. The final thing I'll say about this is those are the three. So again, we have your referral partners, which is going to be employers. You have your graduates, which acts like almost like a student testimonial. And then you have your teachers, your graduates that are actually teaching something. It's more like an education style podcast. Those are the three types of content or guests I want you to bring on for the show. But Raylan, what about shorts? I'm so glad you asked. So the cool thing about shorts is that all of that content, I remember I mentioned Riverside.fm, you can upload that interview and break it up into what they call magic clips. Essentially, you're just creating a whole bunch of short form content from that one episode. That short form content goes to YouTube Shorts. And the cool thing about YouTube is that you can actually take a YouTube search and you can relate it to a long form piece of content. I know that sounds confusing. All I'm meaning is the YouTube Shorts can become a funnel for your long form content, which means people will see the 1 minute clip and then see that there's a longer form video, 10, 20, 30 minutes long, and then they're gonna go want to watch that, which is gonna drive your view count. The final thing I want you to do is for every single long form video you do, you're going to take that, create a transcript, put it over in all ChatGPT, or you can get a copywriter to write a blog post about it that's gonna go on your website. Again, that's gonna help you with SEO. It's gonna come up in the search over on Google, over on YouTube. People are gonna be able to find your videos. And if they don't like videos, cool, no problem, I got a blog for you. There's endless possibilities we can see simply from creating long form content, or as I call it, legacy content. So with that being said, I want you to go in the comments and let me know the likelihood of you actually executing some of this. And if you have any questions around this, please do me a favor, drop it in the comments below. I'll answer it either in a video or over in the comments. The goal here is really simple. There are tons of trade schools that are making a giant difference in the world, giving these students another career, a career that they actually can leave the school and go, I'm happy that I went to that school. It's not really happening in a lot of schools today. And if your school is one of those schools, I want to help you be able to grow. So make sure, once again, like, comment, subscribe, drop a comment if you need any help. And I look forward to hearing about your podcast that you're launching soon. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.